Lights, camera, action. Welcome to the Scrapbook Podcast, Director's Cut.
This is the loosest idea I have. And
Welcome to the Scrapbook Podcast, Director's Cut.
You son of a bitch.
My nigga, P is back again for the banger. He's been gone for so long, that's my fault. I was being the dickhead.
It's really mine.
And
but we'll talk about it later on later episode when I want to see his funk.
The after show.
We're going to do it like Brennan Schaub and Tiger Belly did it.
Yeah.
Just like both get some views off of the hate.
Brennan Schaub is terrible, by the way, and I'll knock that nigga out on God. But anyway.
We would have to double team him.
I guarantee I will not have to. I bet my jiu-jitsu is better than his, and I can sleep that nigga. My boxing coach is Nogueira, pussy.
Yeah, no, it's not. Woo, because you had me going, I was just like, God damn, we out here like scrapping and shit. I shouldn't be fighting you then, nigga.
And then you knock out Brian Callen for threatening that little...
I wouldn't even fight Brian Callen just off the fact that, like, I will go to jail that night.
For being old senile nigga?
No, his father's, like, a high-ranking individual in, like, government. Like, he used to be, like, a high-ranking official.
Oh, is that why he could just molest and rape people?
Yeah.
Brian Callen?
Apparently.
Nobody wants to see your dick, bro. Welcome to the Scrapbook Podcast, Director's Cut. This is Jody Pratt with my fellow host, P. Wiggles, Patrick Wigfall. You already know what it is. It's a Patrick episode. So what's up, bro? Bring it in.
All right, so I'm going to set the scenario before I tell you the situation. So the scenario is, or the place is a cabin, maybe centered 40 minutes out of town of Montana city. And his wife works. He is a writer. And he could be a writer. He could be anything that is just a stay-at-home profession. And so he goes to the basement because this is a home that they just moved into maybe 4 months ago. Mm-hmm. But it's a family-owned place. He goes to go smoke downstairs because his wife is like, I don't like when you smoke inside. And it's Montana. It's hot in the summer. So he's like, I'm going to go to the basement. Cooler. As he's smoking, anybody who smokes knows this. Anybody who just in general has been around smoke knows that if there's a silhouette of light coming from something, it creates like a wall in the smoke.
Yeah.
To where you're like, it's how you know when you're hotboxing and you can like, when somebody turns on the phone, you can see where the air is getting out when you turn on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of shit. And he sees that and is going to a crack in the wall. And he goes to a crack in the wall and like he's like, putting his hand in front of it, he notices there's a fucking hole there. And he's just like, what the fuck is this about? And then he hits it and it feels a little hollow. Goes 2 feet over. It's not hollow, it's thick. And he's like, what the fuck? Doesn't think any more of it. And then he comes up and he asks his wife when she gets home, like, yo, do you know about anything down there? Like, there wouldn't be anything hidden, right? And she's like, no. My family's lived here for generations. If we had extra room, we'd use it. And he's like, oh, okay. And she's like, are you going to the basement to smoke? And he's like, yes. And she's like, thank you. And so he gives a consent, or she gives a consent. So he's smoking in there, to do whatever he's doing. I don't know what it is. It could be whatever. But he goes down there and smokes again. Now he's blowing it directly at the door. And he's like, that's there. And he's like, there's, yeah. He's like, there's something on the other side of that. And so he breaks it down and he finds a door. And he's like, what the fuck? But it's like a small door. I'd say maybe 4 feet tall. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what the fuck? But this is a half Mexican, half white dude. Here's the switch up. Black wife.
Ooh.
So she's
I like the spicy meatball.
So she's keeping him away from doing shit he shouldn't do. Because she comes home and he's like, yo, all right, so you're going to trip, but you were wrong. You were wrong. There's a fucking door down there. She's like, what are you talking about? He takes her to see it and she's like, okay, we don't open small doors in basements. That's stupid. Why would we do that? And he's just like, what could be? There could be treasures back there. And she's just like, for whom? Not for us. We already have what we need. We already have a house. Like, why are you like doing this? And so she's like, just do me a solid. Wait until I get home tomorrow to open this.
Please, can you do that for me?
Yeah, please. That's all I'm asking. Because I know that you're sitting at home and you're going to be staring at this all day. Just wait until I get home. And he's just like, all right. But you want to know too, don't you? And it's creeping in the back of her mind. She's just like, it's not right. I'm going to make a few phone calls and see if like there's some weird shit going on in this house. And so she goes off to work, you feel me? And then I'd say maybe 40 minutes before she gets off, he starts to like really fiend. He's like, let me just crack the lock. I'll just crack the lock, take a peek. When she gets home, I'll let her know what's in there. He cracks the lock. And he's just like, fuck. And there ain't no spooky shit like where he opens it like, wah, like no wind. Breath. He doesn't hear hello. Like none of that shit.
Yeah.
He opens the door and there's a childhood toy that he lost at a beach.
Whoa. Nigga, no.
And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, what the fuck? And then like he's tripping because he's like, I know I cried the whole way home. And we were so far away that my dad was like, we're not going back for it.
Yeah, Mr. Lumpy stuff.
Yeah. I know that I lost his toy there. And this is the exact toy I remember because my dog fucked up the ear. Or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck? And he grabs it from the room and he's like, what the fuck? And then he hears of a door open. And she's like, you know, whatever his name is. I haven't come up with a name for this.
Ernesto, obviously.
Ernesto. She's like, Ernie? He's like, yeah, babe. She's like, tell me you didn't. He's like, I did. He's very honest with her. He's very forthright. Very forth. That's why she loves him so much. Because she's like, if you're going to fuck me over, at least I'm going to know what I'm walking into.
Yeah.
You don't play that beat around the bush shit. You're going to let me know when you fucked up. And he hasn't fucked up often. He's not a druggie. He's not a drunkie. He likes his weed. And he does his art. Whatever that may be.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel you. Let it breathe.
Let it
breathe.
ruminate, dog, because I got a lot of shit to say.
And so she comes down and she's like, you didn't. He's like, meet Mr. Leftfoot. And she's like, who's this? And like, he tells the story like, you remember when I told you that like I was so upset with my dad because we were only 20 minutes away and he wouldn't go back for him? And she's like, maybe you went back. I was like, we were in a different state. He drove us back home that day. He bought me another one to replace this one. She's like, how do you know it's not that one? And he's like,
flips it over, shows
like some shit. And he's like, bro, like, how was this in here? And she's like, I don't know. But I say we close that door and wait until we get some answers. And he's like, okay. He's upset with her kind of because he feels like this is kind of like they're
brushing him off.
Yeah. And also, he's just like, how did my childhood toy get into this room? I've only been here 2 months. And so his mind gets to running. And so this is kind of like a play on like, we can fuck you up, but not really if you're in a situation where you would be fucked up either way. So people are initially going to blame the weed and be like, he's smoking, he's tripping. Mm-hmm. But it's the fact that he's just finding shit out while he's high. That's it.
Yeah.
And so the day passes. He goes down there again and he's just like, how does this door, like, how old is this door? And he opens it again and there's something else. He doesn't understand what it is. It's like a necklace or some shit. And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, I don't know anything about this. He's like, who's been down here? He's like, I've been floating around the whole house the whole day close to this door. And then Ernie, and he's like, yo, yeah. And she's like, what are you doing? He's like, I found something in here again. He's like, what are you talking? Ernie, leave the fucking door alone. And he's like, come down and look at this. And she goes, and it's something from her past.
Damn, this is my nana's fucking necklace. She died with this.
It's something that like she holds like close to the chest. You feel me?
I lost this shit right after her funeral.
And I always beat myself up for that.
Yeah.
And I always, like, she gave that to me because I was the one that always showed up. And she was like, oh, I know you're going to do great things. She was the one that led me to being a nurse or whatever the fuck she is, you know what I mean? And so she's just like, what the fuck? And so they're going back and forth now without each other's consent to open the door to a piece of their past. And I don't know where to go from that.
Okay. Let's do this together, brother.
You know, that's all I got. And also, they don't have kids, but they have nieces and nephews that stop by the house.
Okay.
That are being dropped off because the reason that they went out there, just to give that outside view of psychosis for two young kids that are just coming in to kick it. And you see homeboy who opens it up initially being really cordial and playful with the kids. And then one of the kids like grab at that toy that he found. He's like, hey, what the fuck are you grabbing shit for? And she's like, calm down. It's the fucking toy. Like, so you see that like what they take out of there becomes theirs.
It's a different hold on them.
Yeah. It's not what it was when they lost it.
I think he should work in IT.
That'd be cool.
Because he would answer phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he'd smoke in between breaks. And during his calls, he'd hear like a presence down there. Not thumping around or anything, but it's just like, there's somebody in this bitch. You don't hear him, but you feel him. You feel something.
So it's an uneasiness.
Yeah. And he's just like, yes, ma'am, I'm here. You know what I mean? Did you turn off your computer first? And then it's just drawing him. Then he goes down there and like nothing.
And he's just smoking, and that's when he sees it.
Exactly. And then you see the air flow, and then you hear a telephone ring, and then he's like, I gotta go. Like, so it breaks him from that. So it builds a suspense when that door opens that everybody's like, something's drawing him down here, but he keeps getting fucking distracted by his job. So it distracts all of us. It takes all of us out of it and then brings all of us into it.
So maybe it could be even that his maybe he's like not a partner, but right under the partner, the person who they purposely were like, leave this job, start up this as the main tech guy.
Yeah. You hold us down, and then, you know what I mean?
And then you teach everybody?
Yeah.
Then you manage everybody. You manage, you can see talent.
You have the foot in with HR after this. All you got to do is you manage a little bit, you know, get a good couple of reviews. You're bumped right up into this part. We just need you here as an integral part of the beginning of these stages and shit. Mm-hmm. So that's why, you know, boxes are everywhere and shit like that. Like, they just moved here a few months ago. You know, you don't unpack everything.
You really don't.
Quickly. So, I think that would be pretty interesting also if the wife lost that necklace during a strong arm robbery. And there was no way. It wasn't like
I could drop this and it could have been somewhere else.
I was taking a shower and I put it down and then it fell down the drain. Yeah. No, it was somebody physically took this and ran into the shadows to never be seen again. And that happened 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
I'd say like 40. Make it almost like
no.
Make it like 20. Make it like 20 when she was young.
Yeah. When
the grandma was young and she always play with it. And grandma was like, I'm gonna give this to you. Exactly. And the last thing she said, it was like, I wish that I could have gave you that necklace that you always loved, but it was taken from me. Mm. And you know, if I could have gave it to you, you know, I'd give you my heart if I could, but I can't. All I had to give you was this. She's like, you gave me everything you need.
Oh no, she gives it to her.
She does get it.
She does, yeah. I'm talking about the wife gets robbed for this and just never seen again.
Oh, I thought this was grandma.
No, dude, no, it's her.
Oh, so she's already owned it for a few
Yeah. So
things.
She was like 12, 13.
She remembered like the little scuff part on the top when she took an L on a scooter.
Exactly.
And she was like,
I used to chew on the right side. Like,
yeah. And you can see like the little wear on it, and you're like, oh, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
So, and each personal effect that they bring out of the room speaks volumes to you not understanding why the fuck this is here. This doesn't tie into this house. This does not tie into him. It does not tie into her. But yet it does. It ties into them directly, but it's never like they're like, oh, there goes the keys we lost in 2007.
Exactly.
It's all like personal shit they lost when they were young. But then as the story progresses, I would like things to start being like things they don't technically remember, but they feel a kinship to.
Maybe a blacked out memory.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, damn, this is the shirt my uncle gave me for Christmas. That was the only Christmas I seen him.
And so they're diving in their family past, like, hey, uncle, what happened? Hey, mom, what happened?
Yeah, he's like, your uncle died, like, right, like, the day after Christmas and shit like that. You don't remember that because, well, I had to step out of the hospital room to get us coffee and get you were hungry, and he died right in front of you. And
so it's like, it's slow moments of them understanding pieces of their life that they chose to forget in those moments. So every single thing they pull out is something that was traumatic.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like the first time, like, I'm going to call him Bryant for this moment. We can definitely change that name. But
we had Ernesto, but yeah.
Ernesto, yeah. Ernie. So first time Ernie saw his mother get hit by his father in public. And that's why he wouldn't go back, because he was angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he blocked that out. And then when she lost that shit, it's because of a strong arm robbery and the dude tried to rape her or something. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And while she fought off, he grabbed for her neck.
And
she slipped backwards and
got the neck, pushed him off, and then he just ran away into the night with the last piece of her grandma that she had.
Yep.
Ooh, okay. I like.
Yeah,
and so that's a spirit fucking with you at a certain point, because it's pulling on your heartstrings.
Yeah. So I feel like a casualty of war has to be the little cousins that come over, nephews and nieces, right? They become a bit neurotic and animalistic over their things, their territory, their things.
Mm-hmm.
So after, a couple of times, Ernesto, like, kind of checks a nigga for that shit. And after a while, he just attacks a motherfucker for touching that shit. What do you think about that?
The kid should be... So it's a toy that would be around Homeboy's age.
Yeah.
So it's... Ooh, and this what makes it sick. So this is going to get real dark. Sorry, y'all. It's around like a 5-year-old. 5 to 6-year-old who's bored out in the backcountry with nothing. His parents brought him nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's just there and he sees the toy. And he's like, oh, that looks like a toy that's been used. I can play with this, not new.
Yeah.
He's playing with it. I feel like at a certain point, both of them should be going down to that room and opening the door and being let down every time there's not something else.
Yeah, because there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
Or they find something and it's not what they wanted it to be. You know what I mean? Maybe their memory's jogging around the time that they started blocking out shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would love for my first grade classroom picture to be in here, man. That'd be fucking perfect.
Yeah, it's never what you want.
It's never what I wanted. Never.
Because it's not from use.
Yeah.
It's not for use to get at you.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that's driving them kind of crazy. Maybe he's opening the door, shutting it, opening the door, shutting it, opening the door, shutting it.
Something different every time.
No, or at a certain point, there's nothing in there. It's only when you've.
And this is the first time he lied to her.
Mm-hmm.
Was he shut it, open, shut, open, shut, open. I mean, open, close, open, close, open, close. And then it stopped. Then she goes down there. She's like, do you know what happened to the door? And he's like, I don't know.
They're just like knocks at this point.
Yeah. Feeding for the part of them that they forgot.
Lost. Yeah.
They lost.
Because they're assuming at this point when they start talking to people and like, your mom tells you like, yeah, that was the first time your dad hit me, and he went down a really bad path and that's why we split. We never told you because, I know how close and how much you looked with your father. And when he saw that, he lost all respect for him.
Yeah.
And his brain was like, let's just forget this for a second.
Exactly. Let's stop. Let's cut this
Let's cut this out. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I wanted it to initially, and before we added all this in, I wanted initially to end with he's the only nigga that's ever lived there. And no, it's not him, but it's his family that he killed himself.
Mm.
And that like he's just finding in those crazy moments, he's putting shit in there that he brought himself. Or that he always had. But I like the idea that like it's a family affair and his wife getting really fucked up by it because she is so opposed to that woohoo and being like, no, there's an answer for this shit. Exactly. Don't fuck with it. Leave it alone, none's gonna fuck with you. And then she makes a woman say, but fucking with it. But she doesn't. That's the cool part, is that she opens the door as he's opening the door. And so whatever it is in the house that's making that happen does it for her. Because he's like, I need both of y'all. I need both of y'all to play this dance, or I can't do it. You'll just think he's crazy and leave him. But if I get you, now we got a family deal going. I don't know where to go with what's causing this.
Just a mysterious fucking door.
Yeah, just a mysterious door.
There's no understanding of what.
Would it add to it? And this might be going too far, so just tell me, step back. Would it be crazy if when the kids went down there and they opened the door and like hands came out and grabbed it and pulled him in?
Yeah, too much.
Too much? Yeah, too much.
It'd be better if he, like Ernesto, strangles the kid just based on
him fucking with his toy.
Yeah, how animalistic he gets. Because there's a few things that they pulled out. And one of the things is,
And, so what if, not like the energy of it, but maybe what if like what you pull out is more of what you become? And that doll brings out the aggression in him.
Yeah.
Because that's the first day he saw aggression.
With a fucking dog.
Yeah. And then like when she sees the necklace, she gets anxiety and fear.
Watching her back.
Yeah, like she's not. She'll fuck around and stab you on accident because she's like, bro, he would have got me if I hadn't pushed him off. And that's got to be terrifying because I've got my ass whooped, but I've got my ass whooped around people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Never in the dark.
Yeah, never in the dark where niggas like, I'm going to fuck you right after I beat the fuck out of you. I've never had that. So I don't know that type of fear. So I definitely feel like she would have more of like and she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it would make sense that she's just like, and then like her kids are touching her and she turning around like, what the fuck are you, or her nephews and nieces are touching her and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And they start to understand that, so they're a little bit more distant, but they're taking that as them, being weird or some shit.
Yeah.
And then bing bada boom, you feel me?
How would you end it?
Man, I think I'd end it with the house burning.
I like that.
Like there is a billion ways to expand on this, but I think that digging up your past only helps you so much. You can dig up all of your past, but like there are dramatic moments in your life that you need to focus in on and remember, but they didn't focus in and work.
They took these as presents.
Yeah, they took the moments in their life that they chose to forget as like, boom, I got it. Let me get another one, without dealing with that first one.
Yeah.
It should have been a process. It should have been a therapy session. Being like, hey man, when I lost this, he knocked me down. I was dizzy as fuck, and he started grabbing at my waist, and like all I did was kick him off, and last thing he did was rip my neck and took my grandma's necklace. That's a therapy session. But they took it as like, I found my grandma again, instead of you just found trauma again.
And also they start to not trust each other because they start to understand, like, I don't know much about you. You say like, oh, this is when you're. How come I don't know that?
It was a traumatic experience. We don't talk about shit like that.
You know what I'm saying? But some people are just like, when you're in love, you know everything about that person. All the kid shit, all the... But it's just like, it's so traumatic for them that they blacked it out. Or they drew a line that they wouldn't cross. You know what I mean? But I like that one.
Cool. You good with it? All right, I want to put a little bit of a back end on the woman. I feel like she should be from like a really strong, like, female-minded family.
Mm. Okay.
That way, she's willing to take the load on when he's lacking. So when he first initially gets obsessed with this, it's not like her being like, "Oh, well, you do whatever you want. We'll wait to do that." She's just like, "All right, you're gonna do this. Boom, boom, boom. These are the deadlines I need you to hit."
Yeah.
And he's a very accepting guy, and they are in love. It's just, you know what I mean? You meet a malevolent spirit or whatever the fuck this is. Because this could just be a gift from the universe that you're not taking as a gift, you're taking, or as a lesson, you're taking it as a gift.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking that this is that like it's a gift process or a learning process, and you're taking it as a gift. Much how you take a negative experience as I was fucked over instead of a learning process.
Yeah.
What did you do to get you there? You know what I mean?
Are you still doing the same thing? Oh, you are?
Okay,
well,
you didn't learn anything. Yeah. That was just a bad experience, and you're going to have more of those.
Yeah.
But, you feel me? If you got jumped going to buy weed in this neighborhood, and you're still going in that neighborhood, you're asking to get jumped again if not killed.
Mm.
Maybe just go to the club. Save up, spend an extra $20, go to the club. They can't shoot you, there's cameras.
Yeah.
But, that's what they're taking it as. And I think him being so rocked by the reality of him not remembering something that was so traumatic, mm-hmm. and then her not remembering, maybe she remembers somewhat, but they both feel that closeness to the object so much that it becomes more precious than their relationship.
And how would the burning down of the house commence?
Denise. Denise trying to burn down the room.
As revenge?
As let's stop this shit. You guys aren't eating anymore.
How old are they?
I'd say the boy that he strangled was 14. She's 11.
Oh, so you're pretty bright.
And she's seeing that, my aunt used to come out and make breakfast every morning. Never failed. She's not made breakfast in 2 weeks. Mm. And she's in that room every goddamn morning. Every night. They're going in and out, and they're literally going in and out just to go bathroom and go get water. They're not even eating at a certain point.
That's a bit of a parable for how children move about the world and shit. It's all like, we can knock this out. We can get it done today. Mm-hmm. And for an adult, it's tomorrow, fucking Thursday. I can Wednesday. I can come through and.
You're talking about killing the door.
Yeah. I'm talking about them. No, I forgot what I was saying.
I saw it leave your brain. You literally started to lift off the chair.
Yeah, completely left my brain. But hey, man, that was pretty fucking good. And a lot of kerosene and shit.
So I think that she should try to pull them out of the room and throw like a lamp or something in there.
Should she burn it down with them in it?
I think if she does that.
And it's just them, like, when the fire department comes in to look at everything, their skeleton, their burnt-ass corpses are
sitting right next by the door.
In front of the door.
And because it's a cement foundation, a lot of everything else burnt down besides that area.
Yeah.
But smoke inhalation got them. There was fires in there.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and then the ambulance pulls up, and she's sitting with the toy that he found.
Yeah, right in her arms. It's like, damn.
Covered in soot, and they're just like, get her some fucking air. And then they go in, and they're just like, man, she couldn't have done this. She's in shock. And then Finn
Like that.
I like it. All right. Thank you for joining us on the Scrapbook Director's Cut, Patrick's version. If you like it, give it a listen, give it a share. Talk to people about it. And one of my personal favorites from these Director's Cuts is Cabbage Head. Check that one out. It's super weird and sick, just like Joseph, so I dig it.
Right on.
Shout out Ben. Shout out Saul. Brussels. Ashburn, for some reason. But shout out to y'all. Thank you for listening. And don't stop being creative, you sons of bitches.
Later.